You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you might not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
Looking for these better days.
It is Friday, April 24th. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. Round one of the NFL draft in the books, and the steam not always in the right direction. Plus updates on the NBA and Stanley Cup playoffs. Mackenzie Rivers joins me on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. And Mac, we start in the NFL draft where, no surprise, Fernando Mendoza, the number one overall pick to the Las Vegas Raiders. But then at number two, things got very interesting. We talked yesterday and the day before here on this pod about the odds movement for the second overall pick, where Arvell Reese was long thought to be the number two overall pick by the New York Jets, the linebacker from Ohio State. He was an overwhelming favorite, but then this week something interesting happened. And David Bailey, the edge rusher from Texas Tech, became the betting favorite. And you said on, I believe it was yesterday's pod, Mackenzie, that when it flips like this and it's still 60-40, you choose to ignore the noise and bet on the dog. That was your stance yesterday, I believe, correct?
When you say it like that, it sounds so dumb, especially in light of recent developments. That I'm going to say that wasn't exactly what I said.
I'm trying to say that because if you applied that logic to what happened yesterday, then you were 100% correct. Because yesterday,
so you're saying I wasn't wrong. I was just early. Exactly.
Yes.
The theory did hold up.
Yesterday, David Bailey went from being the minus 150, minus 160 favorite to go second overall to then a dog once again, as the markets completely flipped.
Genius.
And Arvell Reese went back to being the favorite. At one point, one of the sharpest books around, and Bookmaker, who was still taking bets on the draft, had Arvell Reese at north of minus 260. That's when I texted the group, and I said in our Better Day community chat, I said, listen, for those of you that can still get down on some of your, FanDuels and whatnot, Arvell Reese is sitting here at minus 260, minus 280 on Bookmaker. Like, maybe there's something to this late steam. Mac, it got to a point that after 5 o'clock or so Pacific time, the draft got started at, around 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Fernando Mendoza is the number one overall pick. Arvell Reese went to become a minus 1,700 favorite to be the second overall pick by the New York Jets. And when the pick was in and Commissioner Goodell stood at the podium, the second overall pick was David Bailey, the edge rusher from Texas Tech. It just goes to show you the steam, the market movement, it means absolutely shit.
Well, maybe it means shit. I mean, sometimes like a 7% chance will hit and people will be like, what do you mean it was 7%? This happened. There was this tornado. You said it was 7%. You were wrong. It happened. And it's like, no, I wasn't wrong. It was 7% chance. Like, usually you're right to say, all right, it's minus 260 on game day, draft day. That probably is going to go to minus 500 and beyond pretty soon. And it's probably going to be right. But there is a handicapping point I think you can glean from these developments. And you upgrade the very maligned, rightfully so, New York Jets coaching staff and franchise for completely not letting anybody, I mean, nobody's betting. It's not, they're on all the lists. That's like the one thing they wouldn't do, but they're not leaking information for favors or whatever. They're keeping a tight ship. I think you upgrade the Jets a quarter point, and hey, maybe this Bailey guy's good.
Yeah. Some group might have taken a huge bath on this, like there might have been, this movement just could have been for like one betting group, right? Like maybe one respected, sharp group, or that bet a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
money?
A lot of different markets moved. But yeah, maybe it started it and then a lot of followers.
It's just unbelievable. Well, in that case, the steam was wrong, but in the case of the third overall pick, the steam was right because the Arizona Cardinals do wind up taking Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love with the third overall selection. This was one that steamed the past couple of days. We had talked about it on yesterday's pod, our final pod prior to draft day or on draft day, and it winds up being Jeremiah Love at third to the Cardinals. Does this feel like Ashton Genty all over again behind with a very talented running back behind a bad offensive line, or is Jeremiah Love the future here for the Arizona Cardinals?
I would like to say both. I'd like to say Ashton Genty's going to have a renaissance in year 2 or 3 with
Yeah.
Kubiak in charge. The Cardinals aren't going to be great next year. They have a 4.5 win total, keeping the whole division down. It's going to be a while. You're going to hear the reports. Why would you draft a running back at 3? He had 40 yards on 12 carries. It's going to be you're going to hear it a lot because they're going to suck. And
Yeah.
if you suck, your running back isn't going to light the world on fire. Ask Saquon Barkley.
Well, a couple of wild, just unforeseen picks last night in the first round. Carnell Tate, the wide receiver from Ohio State, goes 4th overall to the Titans. And then the New York Football Giants, who are sitting there thinking, all right, well, we were linked to linebacker Sonny Styles, but now linebacker Arvell Reese is available. The Giants take Arvell Reese at 5th overall. The Kansas City Chiefs trade up to number 6 to replace the defensive backs that they lost via trade and free agency. So Mansour Delane from LSU, the first cornerback off the board, goes 6 to the Kansas City Chiefs. Sonny Styles falls to number 7 to the Washington Commanders. The Saints pick up another weapon for Tyler Shuck, drafting wide receiver Jordan Tyson from Arizona State at 8. The Browns, who traded with the Chiefs, wind up getting an offensive tackle, Spencer Fano from Utah, 9th overall. The Giants take an offensive tackle, Francis Mayuga from Miami at 10th. And then safety Caleb Downs winds up going to the Dallas Cowboys, who trade up to make sure that they got a safety there at 11th overall. So Caleb Downs to the Cowboys. Caden Proctor, offensive tackle from Alabama, goes to the Dolphins at 12. And then, Mackenzie, the draft really got drunk because the Los Angeles Rams traded up to number 13. And with the 13th overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Ty Simpson, quarterback from Alabama. Now, dude, there was so much talk about Ty Simpson not being a first-round pick. Then it was Dan Orlovsky who was pushing the narrative of him being a first-round pick. And then yesterday, there was so much talk from, I guess, Schrager and others on ESPN that were like, we're getting all these phone calls like, he's going to go in the first round. He's going to go in the first round. Like we talked about how the market shifted, and he was minus 400 to go in the first round. I don't think anybody had him going 13th, let alone to the Los Angeles Rams at 13.
Well, the Rams believe in the analytics, even if they're not, completely slaves to the math. But 13 isn't that much more valuable than 23. It's not like 3 and 13. So taking the swing, not having to trade and dilute your value, I see the Rams doing that. I'll tell you something. Wasn't the biggest college football fan this year. I thought this man was black. Ty Simpson is a black name to me. To me, that was a black guy. I'm like, oh yeah, Alabama dual threat quarterback. I was out of it, obviously, but nope, not a black guy. I realized tonight.
Well, first off, no one said that he was a dual threat quarterback, right? Obviously, you don't watch college football.
That's how little I was plugged in. And not only did I think he was black, I had a whole baseball card in my mind about who this guy was.
Well, because you thought Ty Simpson was short for like Tyrod Simpson or Tyrone Simpson.
Exactly, Ty Tim.
You're like, oh, it's like Tyrod Taylor, or it's like clearly Ty is short for something. No, it's just Ty McKenzie.
He's probably a junior.
It's just Ty Simpson. So he goes 13th to the Rams. Do you think that this means that that this is Matthew Stafford's final year? I mean, it looks like listen, the guy was the MVP last year. Shout out to all those who cashed the MVP ticket with us.
Yes, sir.
But you would think not only is he playing this year, but like he's good for like another year after that too. But maybe this is in fact Matthew Stafford's last season.
I wouldn't be shocked to see 2 years of Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre controversy.
Okay.
2 or 3 years. They can handle it in LA.
I would agree.
They're fine.
I would agree. Elsewhere, the Eagles, amidst all the rumors about trading away A.J. Brown, they trade up and take USC wide receiver Mekhi Lemon at 20th overall. So that just furthers the rumors that A.J. Brown is going to be on the move. So is it to the Patriots, which is what everyone believes is going to happen? Whether it is to the Patriots or not, A.J. Brown's going to get traded, and that's confirmed by them drafting Mekhi Lemon. And then another surprise in the first round, Mackenzie. We talk about the odds of what you can bet. You know, you can bet over a certain amount of offensive players. You can bet offensive linemen. You can bet wide receivers, right? The odds on over or under 1.5 running backs taken in the first round. You could have gotten close to plus 400 on the over 1.5 running backs being drafted in the first round. And if you took a flyer on that, you cashed, because the Seattle Seahawks, with the number 32 pick, after losing Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker to the Kansas City Chiefs, they select the second Notre Dame running back, Jeremiah Love's partner in South Bend, Jadarian Price, goes 32nd overall to the Seattle Seahawks. 2 running backs drafted in the first round.
Saquon Barkley walked, so running backs could run. The running back is back.
Yeah.
They're going to get $16 million next year, some say.
Some people are giving out draft grades, and we always say, you can't grade an NFL draft until like 3 years down the road, right?
Yeah. More even than other sports, but people do that anyway.
But some are saying on social media that the New York Jets might have won draft night. The Jets had 3 picks.
Got to upgrade them.
The Jets had 3 picks last night. They took edge rusher David Bailey, 2nd overall. They took very talented tight end from Oregon, Kenyon Sadiq, at 16th overall. And then at 30th overall, they took Omar Cooper, the wide receiver from Indiana. 2 offensive weapons that can play right away, and an edge rusher to have an impact on that defense. The Jets might have won the first round of the NFL draft last night, Mackenzie.
I mean, you're a fan. Do you feel the magic? Are we going back to the good old days of conference championships pretty soon?
Listen, whoever is the new head coach after next season is going to have a great team to inherit.
You're laying the foundation. Yeah, it's like the Falcons. The Falcons have a lot of talent. I mean, after this coach after coach, wasn't the right fit.
Yeah,
they're ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. Because Aaron Glenn's not going to make it after the season. So
probably not. Most coaches don't.
Exactly.
Wasn't a great showing.
What's interesting is up on FanDuel, they have some rookie props that you can bet already. So let's just talk about the number 1 overall pick real quick. Fernando Mendoza, regular season passing yards, over or under 2,700. Obviously, there's the hook in there, so it's 22,700.5. Now, the question is, does he start week 1, or is it Kirk Cousins week 1 for the Raiders? To me, the under is the only way to bet this, because of the uncertainty that he is in fact going to be the starter every single game this season. So I would only bet the under. But by comparison, the number 1 overall pick last year, Cam Ward, who was one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL statistically, still threw for 3,169 yards.
That is a good counterpoint with Cam Ward. Because I was saying, a lot of quarterbacks get hurt. Anthony Richardson threw for 68 yards. I would still go I'd rather bet under 2,200, 4-1 or something like that, where you get the variance there.
If he doesn't start every game,
Because I do not think he starts week 1. I would bet that if that might be available in some offshore locations.
Yeah, I do like that. Passing touchdowns for Fernando Mendoza, 14.5. And Cam
14,
Ward,
yeah, it's such a
Cam
low
Ward
number.
threw 15 last year.
That's a really low number for a starter. So
Yeah.
I'm sure Kirk Cousins is the favorite. Look into that number.
Oh, yeah. Once that gets listed, absolutely. Jeremiah Love, regular season rushing yards, 975. I mean, it's got to be an under, right?
975. That's so many rushing yards.
It's so many rushing yards. And they also they signed what's his face? Tyler Algiers, right? So like it's gonna be a split backfield between Jeremiah Love and Algiers. Like it's not gonna be he's not gonna get the full workload.
Am I crazy? Isn't James Conner like, I know he was like their ambassador. He's still a football player, right?
Yeah, but
he's on the depth chart. He's the third string running back now on ESPN's updated depth chart, which is crazy. Yeah, Jeremiah Love 975. It's wild. They might get 975 as a whole team.
Oof. I'm trying to think here. Ashton Genty last year. This is the comp. Ashton Genty rushed for 975 yards last year. Exactly. So the question is, does Jeremiah?
I guess there's that 18th game, so it throws 3.7 yards per carry, but he did get up to 975, but under 975 and a half is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. And he only played 17. He played every game. So yeah, I think the bet has to be under. First off, when you talk about just full season player props, we've talked about this with Fez before. If all you did was just bet the under on every single player, you're going to be profitable at the end of the season. If that's all you did, just pick all of your players and blindly just bet the under on every single season long prop.
Not that we recommend it, but historically that has been, profitable.
Because injuries are very easily could happen, and then just underperformance, and the market always is skewed towards the overs because everyone just loves betting overs. So you'll make a lot of money just betting unders on virtually everybody. All right, night 2 of the NFL draft in Pittsburgh tonight, and on the clock is the San Francisco 49ers, Mackenzie, who did not have a first-round pick last night because of the trade with the New York Jets. So the 49ers have the first pick here in the second round. I know you're excited to see who they're going to draft.
We must have odds for this. I have not seen those odds. I'm going to say it's going to be a tackle. They got Trent Williams under contract. They're going to get a tackle, swing tackle understudy.
Okay, well, here it is, Mackenzie. To be the number 33 pick in the NFL draft, the favorite to be selected by the San Francisco 49ers with the number 33 pick, TJ Parker, the edge rusher from the Clemson Tigers.
Can't have enough edge rushers. All right.
You're okay with it?
Totally okay. I mean, if we can have 4 out of 8 stay healthy, we're going to win the Super Bowl. That's generally how it works.
Your second favorite at plus 550, Denzel Boston, wide receiver from Washington.
Wide receiver. Okay.
Mm-hmm. You're okay if they take a wide receiver?
I guess if you're going to take a tackle, you don't take him 30, you take him at 10. So
well, Mackenzie, the third favorite to be the 33rd pick at plus 600, Chase Bizantis, the offensive tackle from Texas A&M.
I should have stuck to my guns. It's obviously going to be him now.
Okay, you get plus 600 on it. If you can find you can find a place to bet it, you get plus 600 on it. All right, that'll wrap up the NFL draft conversation. Let's get into the playoffs.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Right now, new FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. Turn $5 into $250 in bonus bets just for getting started. And when every possession matters in the playoffs, FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to the action. From player props and your favorite stars to all the tools you need to back them up, FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips so you can check stats, trends, and matchups all in one place and make your picks with confidence. It's everything you need all in one app. So don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel.com/believe. That's BLEAV to get started. FanDuel, play your game. 21 plus select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 plus DC, Kentucky, Wyoming. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org and call 800-327-5050 in Massachusetts. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Call 877-770-7867 in Louisiana.
NBA playoffs last night, 3 games and 3 wins for the home teams. 3 wins, Mackenzie, for the home dogs. The Atlanta Hawks upset the New York Knicks 109-108, and this was almost like a reversal of game number 2 because the Hawks were winning the entire way. The Knicks came all the way back, actually took a lead in the fourth quarter, but then they had a shot clock violation. This is how bad the Knicks were. I mean, my goodness, Mackenzie. They had a shot clock violation, which then led to the Hawks taking a 109-108 lead with 12 seconds remaining. And so the Knicks, timeout, advance the ball. Let's design a play. Okay, you're going to inbound it to Hart, whatever you're going to decide to do. You're going to run a motion, get Jalen Brunson the basketball. He's going to pass it back after he's trapped with nowhere to go with the basketball. The Knicks turn the ball over and don't even get a shot off, Mac. 109-108. The Hawks take a 2-1 series lead.
I still think the Knicks are winning the series. The Hawks got a huge first quarter, kind of thing you get when you're down 0-2, like the zig-zag, even though it was 1-1. I felt like the Knicks, I don't know, kind of need to just go do Brunson ball at this point. I feel like they kind of did Tibbs wrong. It was kind of working fine the way it was going, even if it was ugly at times. Because this is 2 fourth quarters now where I guess overall they did well in the fourth quarter, but 2 clutch times where they could be 3-0 in the series easy.
It really could be, but last night, I mean, that was just an embarrassing first quarter, as you mentioned, but a valiant effort to come back, but to not even get a shot off on the final possession, to have a shot clock violation on the possession before that where you could have extended the lead, just a bad closing situation there for the New York Knicks. You still like the Knicks to win this series? I still like the Knicks to win this series. Up on FanDuel right now, Atlanta -134, Knicks +114.
I got to take I'm not saying it's take the rubber. I don't have a rubber band to take off, but that's my favorite play of the playoffs so far. Knicks plus money to win the series. It's exactly, it's poised. They got them right where they want them.
Knicks -1.5 for tomorrow's game number 4. Total of 214.5. This game, that's what the total was for last night. And that one.
By the way, they don't need to win it. They need to win either game 4 or game 6. And obviously they need to win game 5. Yes. And they're good. And then I like where I'm at.
Okay. All right.
Obviously, if they win both, it's good.
Obviously. Elsewhere last night, the Raptors upset the Cavs as they win their first game of the series, 126-104. Mackenzie, you had talked about betting the zig-zag here and going with the Raptors plus 1.5 in the first half. Well, that cashed. It was a tie game going into the locker room. In fact, if you bet them in the first quarter, the Raptors had a 31-25 lead at the end of the first quarter. So the zig-zag worked out perfectly here. and the Raptors get their first victory of the series, 126-104. Odds for this series now, with the Cavs up 2-1, Cleveland is still minus 1,200 to win this series.
Wow, that's actually, man. God, minus 12. What's the take back on that? What's the no?
Not enough.
What's the Raptor?
Plus
Right,
seven,
it's
plus
like,
750.
all right. If it was if it was 12-1, obviously I'd be interested. James Harden showed up fourth quarter, game 3, makes sense. Very interesting shot profile for the Raptors. Ingram with 9 shots. I would have thought he was their best player entering the year, but RJ Barrett 19 shots, Scotty Barnes 17 shots. Maybe they found something.
Yep. Maybe they did. Your other game last night, your final game, the Timberwolves, a 113-96 win over the Denver Nuggets as they take a 2-1 series lead. That game does go under, and we actually had a flip of the favorite in that game. So earlier I said 3 road favorites. The Timberwolves actually closed as the 1.5-point favorite in that game, Mackenzie.
Well, that makes sense because I was gonna say, no way I said, hey, I like the road favorites, and all the home dogs won. So there was one home favorite that did win. The story is the same as game 2. Rudy Gobert looks like the defensive player that can stop Nikola Jokic for once in history. I mean, there's no historical track record of Jokic being stymied by the guy, but he starts the game off 4 for 17. Ends up taking 26 shots to get 27 points, and that was the story of the game. Anthony Edwards didn't have a great game. Post-injury, Jokic has really, I know he's been a historic season, and so is everyone in the NBA, but I don't think he's been the same top 2 guy like Wemby and SGA.
Yeah. Timberwolves minus 124 to win the series. Nuggets plus 108. That is your series odds up on FanDuel. So as we head into tonight's first round action, let's recap where we are so far. Home teams in the first round, 14-5 straight up, 13-6 against the spread. Favorites 10-9 straight up, 9-10 against the spread. And unders still dominating, 14-5 to the under here in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Oh, and Mac, you wanted to talk about the zigzag in terms of the ATS numbers. So that's what you talked about yesterday by just betting
Right.
the team that didn't cover. Forget about win or loss, but the team that didn't cover in the previous game to cover in the next game. So far with last night's results, let's see. We had the Nuggets did not cover last night, so it is 9-6 ATS.
All right. I'll take 60%. No problem.
Well, let's take a look at what we have on deck for tonight. We have a system play. Talked about this earlier this week with the Celtics coming off of a loss as they take on the 76ers, game 3 in Philadelphia tonight. Here's the odds courtesy of FanDuel. The Celtics 7.5-point favorites. Total in this game is 215.5. But Mackenzie, the system with the team totals, that comes into play here tonight as well. So Sixers team total is 104.5. Now we know how incredible it has been in the regular season, right? We know that. But in the playoffs, this is what people care about. And if you missed the podcast earlier this week or the newsletter earlier this week, let me tell you about it, okay? In the playoffs, the Celtics system is as good as ever. After a loss since 2021, not only are they 18-6 straight up and against the spread, but the opponent's team total to the under 16-8. And inside those 8 games that went over, 2 of them went over by just 1 point. One of them went over by just 2 points. So maybe depending on the number that you got, right?
Yep.
With the team totals, you could literally be sitting here at 19-5 to the team total under after a Celtics loss. We're talking about the opponent's team total. So, I mean, I gave this bet out on, Wednesday's pod. It's It's the Celtics to cover the spread, but more importantly, it's the Sixers team total under 104.5.
I like it especially in the playoffs. I like it especially against a team like the Sixers. Like the kind of offense that they're getting is really comes down to want to on the defense. Like Maxi's speed, Edgecombe's speed, just how annoying that is to do for 48 minutes. It's a lot less annoying after you just took a loss and have something to play for.
Yep. So that's one that I'm definitely on, and you're definitely on here for tonight. The Lakers, with their 2-0 series lead, are in Houston to take on the Rockets, and I guess desperation time for the Houston Rockets. They are 9.5-point favorites, Mackenzie. Now, this is not the same system as we talked about with, the home favorite losing in the first round. Like, this is the road favorite that lost both games 1 and games 2. So how do you think those road favorites do in game number 3?
They dominate. I'm guessing it's like this is a lot of trends. All of the positive signal is from what the favorite does, because a dog can't not be a dog. A favorite can do what they're supposed to do, take care of business, so to speak.
Well, Mac, it's never happened in the history of the database in the first round of the playoffs where the road favorite has lost the first 2 games.
I know the database like the back of my hand.
In the history of the database, it's only happened in the entire playoffs only one time. That was in 2018, May of 2018. The Philadelphia 76ers.
All right.
The Sixers lost games 1 and 2 on the road in Boston as the favorite.
Oh, yeah.
They return. They're home in game 3. They're 9-point favorites against the Celtics. So kind of similar to the line that we have here tonight.
Did they lose?
They
lost that series in 5.
They lost that game 101-98.
Yep. Like the back of my hand, I remember these games.
I'm telling you, this could be. I think we got to take the Lakers tonight, plus the 9 points. I think that's the move.
A lot of points, man.
9.5.
Yeah, I think that is a value play.
Yeah, Lakers plus 9.5. And then the Spurs are at the Trailblazers. This series is tied at a game apiece. San Antonio, a 2-point favorite in Portland. Obviously, the status of Victor Wembanyama weighing heavily here on this series. He is officially questionable for tonight, as he is traveling with the team while he is still in concussion protocol. I can't imagine him playing tonight, Mackenzie, but then again, I thought Arvo Reese was going 2nd overall in the NFL draft last night. So,
yeah, it seems like they kind of virtually signal in San Antonio, or you could say they are post-Kawhi extra conservative with those decisions, so I don't think he plays.
Yeah, I don't think he plays as well. Now, what do you think of the advice that I gave out earlier this week? Was wait till after this game. If Portland wins this game, then you come in on San Antonio to win the series.
Well, I mean, if the price is right, but I think it's going to be.
You think it's going to be close to what it is now? Right now, San Antonio minus 600 to win the series.
No, it's not going to be minus 600. The question is it going to be minus 200 where it's kind of interesting, or is it going to be minus 150 where it's like game of the year type stuff? In my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, San Antonio down in the series. Wemby kind of hobbled. I'm not worried about it. They can win 3 out of 4.
All right. Stanley Cup playoffs last night. Sabres with a 3-1 win over the Bruins, take a 2-1 series lead. Hurricanes, a 2-1 win over the Senators, take a commanding 3-0 lead. The Avalanche, a commanding 3-0 lead over the Kings after a 4-2 victory. We had 2 more shot on goal props last night. We split. We went 1-1, but one of those players, Mackenzie, scored a goal. So we are 10-4 plus almost 7 units betting shot on goal props here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Of those 14 players that we bet on, 8 of them scored goals. So if you've been sprinkling on all 14 of them, you are way up, well over 7 units because of the plus money on all these goal scorers. Last night, it was Trevor Moore of the Kings who scored the goal for us. So very happy about the performance from our shot on goal props. Let's take a look at what we have on the schedule for tonight. Lightning are at the Canadiens with that series tied at a game apiece. The Golden Knights up in Salt Lake City to take on the Mammoth, and that series tied at a game apiece. And the Oilers in Anaheim to take on the Ducks. That series also tied at a game apiece. So we will have to isolate the best player prop edges that we believe that we have, and we'll look to take advantage in the shot on goal market. Speaking of the prop edges, Mac, another day and another dominating day for the Major League Baseball Game Center up on betterday.com. I mean, it truly brings joy to me when we get messages in our Better Day community chat from Better Day Insider and Premium members telling us about all the props that they are cashing utilizing the top projected edges in our game center every single day. We had 4 day games today, right? And we're getting texts in the morning with let's see, Taylor went 3-0, Blake went 5-0 just in the day slate today with the player props projections up on betterday.com. So I can't imagine a better tool anywhere else. We also had another game, because we give final score projections as well. We had another game where the Game Center identified a false favorite, as we had the White Sox projected to beat the Diamondbacks. And guess what? White Sox beat the Diamondbacks 4-1 last night. So, man, the MLB Game Center continues to deliver. If you haven't checked it out for yourself, head to our homepage up on betterday.com. Learn how you can elevate your betting game by becoming a Better Day Insider or Premium member, and take advantage of the MLB Game Center tools that you can find them elsewhere if you have memberships to like multiple different sites, or you just join us here at Better Day, and it's just a part of everything that we offer for you.
Someone was texting me, like, what do you think Scott would think of this play? And I'm like, dude, join the Telegram. Ask Scott. You're asking me for.
I mean, just literally go to the MLB Game Center and look at the prop projections that are there for you. All right, that'll wrap up this episode of Better Day. Coming up later on today, another live streaming episode of Off the Board with Colby Marchio and Jake Hassan, streaming on the Better Day Twitter page and the Better Day YouTube. We'll have a free play posted up on betterday.com as well. And make sure you're following us all across social media to learn how you can become a Better Day Insider or Premium member. Just click on the link on our homepage at betterday.com. For Mackenzie Rivers, I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.